DevTrack is a customizable, intuitive, and feature-rich task and project management tool. Users can choose from a variety of methods, including Agile, Scrum, Kanban, or Waterfall for development. In this video, I will show you how tasks are planned, tracked, and worked on for either Agile or traditional methods. Over in the folder tree, we have a list of all development projects our organization is working on. There are two projects. One is an ongoing application set to use Agile for constant improvement, while the other is more of a contract-based project to build a website for a customer. In the Agile project, we have multiple releases, in this case version 1 and version 2. There are multiple sprints underneath each release. Each sprint is color-coded to indicate past, present, and future. In contrast, our contract-based project utilizes phases without sprints, and tasks and issues are categorized by its subfolders. Let's start with our Agile project. We begin by going over to the backlog, where it can contain multiple products, but in this case, we just have one product that is broken down into different categories. On the right side is a list of all items that belong in the backlog. Work items can include stories, tasks, or defects. The use of stories is purely optional, but in this example, let's create a new story and see how we can plan that. To create a story, we right-click, and just about anywhere in DevTrack, we can right-click to see applicable actions. On the new story page, we simply put in a title and a description. We can choose to assign a story to an owner, but more importantly, let's go ahead and put in an arbitrary story point value. When finished, we hit submit, and the new story should appear in our list. There are multiple ways to prioritize our stories and tasks in the backlog. We can drag and drop hired value stories to the top, or use the board view to sort the cards in a similar fashion. To assign stories to development, we simply drag and drop into a future sprint, or we can right-click. A dialog will prompt us to create tasks that must be completed in order to finish the story. We also have a list of predefined tasks that can be quickly created, or we can choose to create additional ad hoc tasks that are not in our list. For each task, we can assign an owner and indicate the effort it's going to take, either through time or task points. In this case, I will use time. Once the stories and tasks are assigned, they will appear in our future sprint and our list view. We also could have created the tasks after the stories are committed to the sprint. We can also create additional tasks through this method. We can quickly find tasks by filtering by owner, by status, or performing a keyword or ID search. Advanced queries can be created against any field at the task level. Let's switch over to the board view to see how this sprint is progressing, something we may do during our daily stand-up meeting. All stories and tasks are represented by cards. The stories appear in front of the board, and to the right are associated tasks sitting in its current status. We can drag the tasks around to change the status, and also prioritize them by moving them up or down. We can do the same for stories. If we think this story is more important, we can go ahead and drag that above the previous story. At the very top of the board is a summary section to see remaining and completed stories and tasks. We can click on the summary link to get visuals of how the tasks are distributed and a burn-down report for the sprint. The storyboard can also be changed to display different information. We can group the tasks by owner or any other field. If we do it by owner, we can then see the individual workloads. The team can also manage their weekly queues by listing by the planned start date. Lastly, if we were using Kanban, we can go ahead and set the WIP limits for each of the columns. Lastly, let's see how a team may manage their work daily. Back in the list view, we can view the task details by clicking on it. There are multiple ways to view this information, either through a pop-up tab or a detail pane over on the right, or even a second window outside of the browser. To edit the task, we can click on the edit button or simply use inline editing. Any fields that we choose to include in the list view are available for inline edits. Since I've used time estimates for the task, two of the most important fields the team will want to edit are the time remaining and time spent fields. These two fields allow DevTrack to calculate a percentage finished that rolls up to the story and finally up to the sprint. These fields are also extremely important for our burndown reports. Hopefully this short video illustrates some of the things DevTrack can do. For any questions, please give us a call or contact our support team.